Hi, welcome to Chair Chats, the lifestyle show with a disability twist. I'm your host, Pauline Victoria. Every year, thousands of people make resolutions to live a healthier and more fit life. But for people with disabilities, finding the right physical activity that suits our needs can be daunting. Even harnessing the right mindset to live a more healthy and confident lifestyle can prove to be challenging. Paul Brailer got his wake-up call when, in a short time, a couple of his friends died due to poor health, and a couple others became victims of crime. Well, Paul decided that even with a disability, he did not have to choose to be stationary or be a victim. Paul Brailer was born with spina bifida and founded Criptaedo.com. He is on a mission to help people with disabilities learn more about fitness and self-defense. So please open your hearts and your minds to Paul Brailer. Thank you so much, Paul, for being here today.
No problem.
I want to just start out by helping our audience learn more about you and kind of just take us back of how you started getting involved in self-defense and exactly what that self-defense is.
Well, growing up, I always liked the karate movies, Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris. I even made my own pair of nunchucks as a kid, and hit myself in the head a couple of times trying to, do it like Bruce Lee. And growing up, grew out of that, but I still, watched them and going to school. Friends throughout the years would pass away due to MD or CP, and then fast forward 30 years, was that my two of my friends got mugged at a bus stop. And I was wondering, well, how could I stay healthy and safe? I was at a local hamburger shop here, and a lady walked in, and she had a shirt on that said The Art of Karate. And I started talking to her, and she was, well, at the time, a fifth-degree black belt. And she invited me down to the school. She's like, come down and check it out, you know, which surprised me. She didn't say no. She didn't assume that I could not do it because of the chair or the crutches. I do walk with lofter and crutches also. I went down, I checked it out, I got into it, signed up the same day that I went down and watched the classes. Been there almost 4 years now. Some things that I have to do, I have to modify things, obviously. I'm never going to be able to do a kick.
Mm-hmm.
And I do the kicks, I have to modify them with certain hand movements.
Okay, so it was a combination of things happening in your own life, along with someone showing up at the right time at the right place to give you an opportunity to check. Is it karate or what martial art did you?
It's Taekwondo and another form called Goju Gojuro. I don't know how to pronounce that one, but the main one is Taekwondo, which actually means hand, foot, way.
Hand, foot, way. And so Criptaedo, is that related to the title?
Yeah, it's a play on words.
Okay.
So Taekwondo means hand, foot, way. I took the foot part out of it.
Yeah, that's great. Just like you adapt things in the physical world, you could adapt things in the linguistic world. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, so what was I know that the woman that invited you was very open to having you part of the class. What was the other what were the other reactions that you received from other students, and were they willing to work with you?
Oh yeah, the students. I mean, they asked questions. They asked me about my handicap. If I could do this, I could do that. When they saw me, we were practicing front kicks. I remember as a white belt, we all lined up. And Mrs. Rollins is in the front of the line. And she's going through and she's kicking. And she's like, do a palm heel for a front kick. Do an elbow for a roundhouse. Punch out to the side for a side kick. That's how we adapted.
That is so cool. And the reason I asked that question is because there might be people that are watching and they're like, yeah, that sounds so awesome. I'd love to be part of that in my local area, but there might not be, that person may not be able to walk in their life and at the right time and be so open to accepting that. And so, if someone was interested in getting involved locally, because I know your ultimate goal is to help people with disabilities become more conscious and about their fitness and self-defense so that they don't have to be victims. And I think
Right.
that's a very honorable thing to be doing. But it's great that, someone might be watching this and be like, well, that's great. It happened for you, but what should how should I approach my local
Well, you just,
taekwondo or martial art?
you know, all they can say is no. There's more than one school, you know, and someone's going to give you an opportunity. I mean, like when her and I talked last week, we went out to lunch together last week, me and my instructor, and we passed the restaurant that we met at. And I said, I haven't been back since. She says, either have I. So it was a God thing.
Yeah, very serendipitous.
Yeah. I mean, we were right next door to where we met. And she's like, I haven't been back. And I'm like, either have I. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a God thing.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So, if there was someone watching this and they wanted to get involved, when people ask you questions, what was your attitude towards the whole thing, so that way people felt at ease with you and they felt comfortable wanting to adapt things for you?
Mhm. Well, you just have to be open. It's a new learning experience for me, as well as for the instructors and the other students. Maybe I'm the first person with a disability that those students ever seen or
Mm-hmm.
the instructors ever had to work with. I know in my situation, all three of my instructors had other students that were already there. I am the third person that has had a handicap at the art of karate.
Okay. And what has martial arts given you?
It's given me a better self-esteem, a better self-image, self-respect, self-discipline,
Mm-hmm.
and,
And
and I'm in better shape.
yeah, yeah. And have you ever had to use self-defense?
One time,
Okay.
I was at, I used to work at a local Sears, and that Sears shut down. And I went up the week that it closed. I went up every day just to make sure I saw all the people before it was time for the store to close. And I was pushing my wheelchair down to the bus stop, and one of what I call Akron youth decided that he wanted my fanny pack. And he reached for my fanny pack. I went like that, and trapped his arm, flipped him into an arm bar, and broke his elbow.
Ouch. But you were able
Mm.
to defend yourself, which is really important. And I don't think most people think of people with disabilities um,
They
as
think of us. They think of us as an easy target
yeah,
because
but you don't hear too many people in the news. I mean, I don't hear too many people in the news with a disability getting attacked. I would think that humanity, even if at the worst, would have a little compassion, but apparently it's not. And we can find ourselves in situations where we have to be able to defend ourselves.
there was a study done statistically that we are 5 times more likely to be assaulted than a able-bodied person.
Mm. So it's very important what you're doing to let people know that this is something you can do no matter where you're at. And I know Criptaedo you have a website, criptaedo.com, and
Yes, ma'am.
people can visit there. What can they find on that website?
Well, they find links to all of my videos, pictures from past events that we spoke at, pictures of me in class, pictures of me at promotion. Uh, Also, the Facebook page is more updated than the .com.
Okay. And I know you have someone that takes care of all the technical issues on your end, which is
Yeah,
a great blessing to have. And I know he's there. Jarrett, are you there?
Yes, I am.
yeah, he's coming over
Okay.
right now. Yeah, this is Jarrett.
Hello.
Hi, Jarrett. Thank you for coming on to Chair Chats and letting us know about what your involvement is with Criptaedo.com. I know putting a website together is not an easy thing. So, and you're a young guy, you could be going out and doing all sorts of things. You could, you have a lot of choices. So, why do you spend the time and energy to develop Criptaedo.com?
I could say basically the first thing is, the average, I guess you could say, boy thing would be to do sports and stuff like that. That's never been, quote, my interest. It's always been working behind the computer, video editing, developing things, just working on the technical side of everything. So that's more, I could say my area. And, I've been friends with Paul for a while. So when we developed this one, I'm like, hey, why don't I take, the technical aspects of everything and work with it?
Very cool. Okay, so is there something special about Criptaedo that speaks to you, or do you just do a bunch of other people's websites, or you focus a lot of your time?
A lot of it's just with Criptaedo, with mine as well, but 90% it's Criptaedo. That's the main thing. That's my focus. I've known Paul for a while. It's something I just want to build up, with him as well.
Okay, and it's there's like you said there was a lot of stuff on the website. You have a lot of videos. What do you hope that people get when they come visit your website?
Last week I had a lady from Belgium message me. It's on the Facebook page that she has been using the techniques that I demonstrate on my crutches for self-defense. And she actually said that she wished that she had it before because she was raped.
Hmm.
The actor came back a half hour later and did it again.
Oh, and she was disabled.
She's disabled.
So one of the takeaways that people can get by going onto your website is to find different techniques that maybe they can, that's already been adapted. You found a way to adapt it for yourself that maybe if they have a similar physical disability, they can use those techniques in their own lives.
Yeah, you have to realize that every situation is different, I can't train, even me. I mean, I'll be a black belt coming up. I have my black belt test in 2 weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm not trained for every situation. My instructor, Mrs. Rudaball, she's a 6-degree black belt. Okay, and she has perfect technique. She's a technician. She says that she's not even trained for every situation. So us being disabled, we're at a disadvantage more so than the able-bodied person, and they're not even prepared for every situation.
Right, right. Well, and Jared, I've seen some of the videos on Criptaedo.com, and you're pretty good on camera as well as behind the camera. So I just want to give you kudos for that too. You have great energy on camera. So people that want to go visit Criptaedo.com, you'll find a lot of good stuff that can, possibly save your life. So, and I think what your long-term vision is. I know you're just starting out with the website and the Facebook fan page. People can join. What else? What's your long-term vision?
We like to go. I want to go out, do public speaking. I want to, in the long term, have my own gyms where people can come, get a workout in, and don't have to leave your chair. If you're in a chair, the machines are already adapted there that you can be in your chair, work out, and go to the other part of the gym and learn self-defense. Criptaedo, if it's going to be called Criptaedo.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, maybe you could develop a whole new martial art.
Well, basically, that's what the head instructor, Mr. Rudaball, that is my other instructor's father,
Mm-hmm.
he said that's what I'm doing. He said,
Yes.
he said,
So we could be watching history being made at this time.
mm.
And then you'll have dojos all around the country. That's awesome. Okay, Jared, I know you're doing a lot of technical stuff on the side over there. So if you wanted to close here, we can do that. Or if you wanted to go off and do your technical side, you're the brains over there. Thank you so much for handling all of that.
No problem.
Okay. So, Paul, with every show that I do, I try to end it with a word of gratitude, and I'd like to ask you what you're grateful for today.
I'm grateful for Mrs. Rudaball not saying no, not assuming that I could not do it. She gave me a chance. Mr. Rudaball gave me a chance. Mr. Hobson gave me a chance.
Yes.
Those are all my instructors. They didn't assume that the handicapped guy couldn't do it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I'd like to thank you for being on Chair Chats today and letting other people know and inspiring people to know that they can be more than victims. They can actually choose to take control of the situation by maybe exploring different techniques that has been adapted for people with physical disabilities like yourself, that you've discovered for yourself. And I think that's an important part here because you've done a lot of the work, I think, for people with disabilities is figuring out how do we do X. And you've figured out a lot of that for people. So you've helped people maybe get there faster and quicker and easier. So, I encourage anyone that's watching this that is interested in learning how to become more fit, more confident, be more, have the techniques to defend yourself when you're in public so you're not a victim, as the statistics show that a lot of people with disabilities become victims. I would highly suggest that you go to www.criptaedo.com and go to the Facebook page and like them. And Paul, what is the Facebook page? Is it under Criptaedo or Paul?
It's facebook.com/Criptaedo.
Okay, Criptaedo. Awesome. So thank you so much for tuning in. And
one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if this is a shameless plug, but like I said earlier, we also do public speaking. Anybody's out there that wants to bring me in, contact me on the Facebook page. Maybe we can work something out.
So feel free to contact Paul Brailer at Criptaedo.com or message him on Facebook. So until we meet again, be blessed.